Good morning, everyone. Today is June 16th, 2021. This is StockCast, your pre-market show. My name is James Mason. With me is Todd Derby. Todd, how are you doing this morning?
Doing well. Thank you for asking. Having a good morning. Wow, a lot of people already in the comments. That's awesome. A lot of good mornings. That's great. Thank you. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button.
Todd, they're all here for you.
We all know that. James, can you do your technical analysis real quick so I can get off my show?
Yeah, this is the Todd Derby show. I speak on Todd's behalf.
It's good to know your role.
All right, everyone. So Dow futures are currently down 31 points. S&P 500 is went away. Okay. S&P 500 is down 1/4 point. The market's going to be flat today due to the Fed announcement that everyone is waiting on. Nothing really. It's the same old crap. This happens every time. So today's probably going to be a pretty crappy day until Jerome Powell decides to pump the market up. Let's just be honest. So hopefully he pumps up everything that we are in, and we all get rich because stocks only go up. So let's go ahead and talk about a stock. So if anyone has looked at pre-market thus far this morning, they would see that ticker APRE took off running, but we're not talking about APRE. APRE took off running, but there's one that I am watching for in the future, and that is ticker AUVI. Alpha Uniform Victor India. So ticker AUVI, this is Applied UV Incorporated. Last update, short interest, 211,000 shares being short, roughly 5% of the float. Share structure, 9.4 million shares. The float, 4 million shares. And you can see this daily chart here. And currently, pre-market, we are up 36%, right around 1230, 1240. It's just bounced around so quickly. Now, what I am watching for here, because this is such a low share structure, and with this also being, hold on a second. All right. So since this is such a low share structure with just a little over 9 million shares on the market, and this just being really so consolidated at this point, well, actually before this morning, you can see it popped up, but I'm wanting to see it break these highs right here. So you can see these candlesticks, these wicks, we're going up to right around 1375. And if we go back here to the beginning, we can see this high was right at 13. But, to be fair, we have to wait for that break above these highs where it just kept testing that range over and over and over. So we still have roughly a 1.5 before getting there. But for me to stay disciplined here, I have to wait for this to break above that 1375 range before I can make an entry. Now, once it does that, my first target price will be right at $21, as you can see this top line. And if we would break above that, then I will quickly move my stop loss up. Because anything above this $21 range, there's probably a good chance it's going to try to get hammered down. Now, just because I say $21, it doesn't mean it's going to go to $21. For those who don't understand, my terminology here, but that's just the target price. That's what I see if everything would line up right and this thing actually just take off running. So that is ticker AUVI. So let's go through the comments. Todd, you see anything in the comments?
there's a couple tickers that people are asking about, mostly a lot of good mornings and hello. So we really do appreciate that interaction. But ticker BCTX, Bravo Charlie, Thomas X-ray.
All right. So BCTX, we can see that we're up 12.5% pre-market here, right around 675 at this moment. And looking at this daily chart coming off this downtrend, and we are to the point where we are breaking above these little entry prices. And hold on a second, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let me go ahead and update everyone on the share structure. So we actually spoke about this not too long ago. But the share structure stands just right at 6.7 million shares on the market, and the float is at 4.3 million shares. So again, super low share structure here. They just released some news this morning, so we got a catalyst in play at the moment, and this thing, honestly, it looks primed. Hold on, I'm just kind of looking at it again here. All right, so what I will be waiting for, as we can see this little hash line right here, what I'll be waiting for is this thing to actually break above this 760 range and see this thing start pushing up here and really just ride the momentum out. Again, with this being such just a low float, and obviously, actually, I say low float just because it's literally what everybody says on the market. I really don't give a crap about the float at all. It only matters about outstanding shares. So since this is such a low outstanding share structure for this company right here, that's actually what matters when it comes down to breaking down what's going to happen and whatnot. I guess that's just what I was really trying to say here. Hold on. Let me take this VWAP off. There. All right. So I'm waiting for it to break above 760 and then just ride out that momentum on this bad boy. This is one I'm really looking forward to. All right. What else is going on in the comments?
Take a look at, I know we mentioned it already, APRE, but I got it up on my chart here. It has not done a pullback on it. I think it might have a chance to go.
So APRE, last update for their short interest, 1.5 million shares being short, 10.5% of the float. Shares outstanding, 21.2 million. The float, 14.2. We're already up about 46%. I mean, Todd, I can definitely see what you're saying. I think what it will probably do is have a slight pullback, and this is just speculation off of what I see at this moment. But have a slight pullback just to kind of cool it off on the RSI, and then rip out probably in the live market at some point and take off running.
I suspect that the shorts have piled in here somewhere around that big green candle at around 8 o'clock. Like that hit a high of $6, and then it went up after that. I got to believe the shorts have not won yet, and this is they might get squeezed for a decent pop here.
Well, they did release legitimate news this morning, so
that helps.
Yeah. Well, let me go back to this daily chart here. All I can tell you is if this thing gets above 856, and if them shorts are still in it, boy, they are gonna.
If it breaks 856, it's gonna go to 10 quickly.
Yeah, they have their dick squeezed off. There's no other way to say that. I mean,
what would be your entry for? Because I'm thinking around 750, 751 for an entry for a small starter position. What's your thoughts on that?
Me personally, with how I trade and just looking at this on the daily chart, I'd have to stick with that 856 range because it's breaking these highs back here, and it wouldn't be ideal. You know, say like if this did whatever it was going to do today and kind of held up, and then tomorrow it broke above 856, that would be a better scenario.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we really don't want it moving too much today. But at the same time, I mean, this thing did release a legitimate catalyst, and it does only have 21.2 million shares on the market. And
a lot of institutional ownership.
Exactly. Institutional ownership is right at 57%.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Pre-market volume's already almost 14.5 million shares being traded. And
yeah, I'm watching this. The volume's decent on it right now.
Yeah. And dollar volume is there's almost been $100 million traded so far. So there's a lot of momentum in here already. But if it does break above that 856, and if those shorts didn't cover, whew, good Lord.
Well, more shorts will, I mean, another level or another layer of shorts will be piling in on that move.
Yeah. Now, if they start getting squeezed out, I think could move quickly from 856 on up to almost 15.
Party.
Yeah. This is definitely one I would not short today. Heck no. No way. Not in a million years. I wouldn't even short this with the haters portfolio, only because they can't afford to shorten their accounts. Oh man, I'm a trash talker. All right, what else we got going on in the comments? Oh, this is actually a great question. All right, can I explain my 5 trades a year approach? So I made this post on Facebook last night, and I said that you really only need to take, well, not you need to. You can actually get by with only taking 5 trades a year. And with $1,000, you could turn that into $20,000 with those 5 trades. Now, I know that sounds like one of those stupid get rich quick gimmicks, but I'm not even talking about anything like that. What I'm actually talking about is when it comes down to doing your research, your due diligence on these low outstanding share companies, the first thing you need to do is find the ones that have a very little amount of shares on the market. So honestly, if you can find something under 10 million shares on the market, especially if it's a bio stock, because the reason why I say bio stocks, and this is why I talk about the bio stocks a lot, is they always have a freaking catalyst in the pipeline somewhere. And at some point, if you see it going sideways, for instance, like right here, APRE going sideways for an extended period of time, and if they have a catalyst and it's a super low share structure on the market, that's a prime candidate for that thing to just rip up and just run like crazy. So let's just say you have $1,000 and you slowly start scaling in with how I always, tell everybody to do by dividing your trade up by 10. Over time, you'll slowly scale in and you'll get to the point to where, once you either get entirely into your position or whatever it may be, that when this catalyst drops for that ticker and these things start moving, it's very rarely that they only move 100%. I mean, if you think about, for instance, POAI has a share structure that is more significant than 10 million shares. I think it's like 46 or 49 million shares last I checked. Let me just double check again. Yeah, so POAI has 49 million shares outstanding on the market. Now, if we're talking about something that has 10 million shares on the market, that's just a lot less shares available to buy. So once that demand comes in with that catalyst and these things start to really rocket up, and you can easily do this with share structures, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million. It really just comes down to the research and understanding the catalyst. But the lower outstanding share value, the better. So once they drop that catalyst and these things start moving, it's easy to gain this percentage pointage gains, whatever you want to call it, overall. And what I was just saying about like POAI, I mean, heck, the other day, it pushed up to like $1.60, and yeah, we've obviously pulled back. But if you think about it, the people who were jumping in around that 80 cent, 90 cent range, I mean, good Lord, some of y'all were up 80, 90%. And that was it was moving off of just natural movement. That was it. Now, when they drop a catalyst, that's how you get those extended percentage gainers. So if you, for instance, take $1,000 and you just make 100%, let's say you're in with $1,000 period. So you make $1,000 profit. Then you just roll it over. Now, what I am saying is a very simplistic version of just compound interest. And that's what this comes down to. Because that next trade, if you took that $2,000 and then flipped it for 100%, you'd have 4,000 then, and then 8,000, then 16,000, then 32,000. But number 5, your 5th trade, and let's just say you only make 100% on average. Oh, thank you, beautiful. Thank you for the straw. I really appreciate it. I look forward to this. Thank you. I love you, pretty girl. Yeah. Hold on a second, guys. Thank you. You are the best Starbucks delivery person. Thanks. I love you. I love you, and I'll let you live here. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye, baby. I love you.
She hasn't delivered my Starbucks yet.
Yeah. Bye, baby. Love you. Okay. So by that 5th trade, that's 32,000. Now, you're not gonna let's just say if you don't average 100%. And I know this is gonna sound freaking just insane for people, and I'm sure the haters and trolls are gonna probably cut segments out of this and be like, yeah, James talking this, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. But let's just say you don't hit 100% every time on these lower share structure stocks. That's why I was kind of bumping it down to $20,000. Now, at a perfect 100% on your 5th trade, that would be $32,000. Again, you would have to pay taxes on that shit. So keep that in mind as well. Yeah, so the whole concept is really just compounding, but it all starts with research. That's where it starts. Once you understand that something has a catalyst, and if you slowly scale in, even with just a small amount, you can make significant money. And if you're willing to have the patience, that dedication to sticking with the plan, it pays off. I mean, over the last year, God, I can't tell you how many times I've been in these low share structure trades, and everybody and their mom starts losing faith, and they're like, "James, you suck ass. This is a horrible trade. I've lost so much money. I lost $600." Shit like that. Like, and then it rips up. Like, they sell for whatever loss that they decide to take, and then it rips up and runs hundreds of percent. And like, oh man, I should have listened. And yeah, I mean, it's just that's how I trade, guys. I mean, if you guys haven't realized that, if you think back about, for the ones who've been rolling with me, especially in the TTBB, if you think back about these low share structure trades, that's all I'm doing. I'm not doing nothing fancy. It's just research. And I spend hundreds of hours researching these companies. So hopefully that kind of explains that concept, that theory, a little bit better to y'all. Now, if you have any questions, email Todd.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. Thanks.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting you share that trading philosophy, because I've known you for a couple of years now, and I've seen you evolve a little bit in your trading style, and I think a lot of it has to do with, like, I know that we talked about the scaling strategy yesterday. When I first met you, and I had a private conversation about the scaling strategy, and you go, why aren't you scaling in? You're like, and you felt like when you had the mentorship where people are watching you, you really felt pressure to, like, pick a stock, get into a stock, and make money from it right away. And that was a situation that you, like, we started talking about it, and then you started talking about the scaling strategy publicly, and I think that really helped you be more relaxed as a trader.
Mm-hmm. And really, that was one of the things that made me hate doing the mentorship. And the mentorship didn't last long because I hated it so bad. It also, because I had to spend so much time trying to teach it, it harmed my real trading. And
Yeah.
that's where I make my money, and I had to end that crap pretty quickly. But yeah, and that was one of the big things in, like, the mentorship, because let's face it, like, everybody wants to see the person that they're trying to learn from make these phenomenal trades, make these massive fat profits. At the end of the day, they want a feel good story. That's all they're looking for. And it is hard to pull that off, especially on camera live. But yeah, scaling in slowly, man, it literally pays. It pays to have discipline and patience. It literally, like, I cannot stress that enough. It literally freaking pays you to have patience and discipline. Todd, say it for me right now. Say it for me right now, Todd.
It pays to have patience and discipline. I find that when we're doing the live stream and I'm in a trade, I swear every one of my trades goes south, and I have to dig myself out of a hole. They work out, but they just seem troublesome. Where, like, Monday and yesterday, you and I were talking. Monday I hit that trade, like, I was in that trade in 90 seconds, made like $700, and then yesterday it was like a 6-minute trade, $900. But when I'm in the live stream, it seems like it could be like 3 hours to make the same money.
Yeah. And, like, honestly, for me, if I disengage with social media, society, everything, and just put myself in the zone, if I only, like, spoke to, like, 1 or 2 people without any conversation at all, if I just completely get in the zone, man, I can straight up, like, murder trades, like, in a good way, not like getting hammered. Like, I can come out and just crush some trades. But
well, I'll share a story with the group then. You and I were trading together.
We really want to hear your story. Let's hear it.
This is about you. It's about POAI. And we're trading. We hadn't said anything for minutes. We're both doing our thing. And all of a sudden, I want to say you almost squealed, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? You're like, oh my gosh, I think I found the next one, and it was POAI, and we got in that day for a small position, and then you said, hey, I need a couple hours to really dig into this, and then you released all that data you found, but that was just you digging, and we hadn't said anything for a half an hour. I bet it was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. And that's just to find the stock, not even to research it.
Right.
But yeah, so long story short, it all comes down to how solid you are on research. And a lot of people, that does stress a lot of people out. Truthfully, guys, like it's not that hard. It's kind of like, this is probably the best way I can kind of explain this. If you guys ever jumped on to like a new PC, a new computer, the first time, and you open it up, it's just kind of like you're overwhelmed. Like it's just like, oh man, we're like a new phone. You open it up the first time, you're like, oh man. Like for instance, this LG Wing that we've had for months, I still feel that way now. That's why I don't hardly use it. But anyways, that might have been a bad example right there. But you get a new device, you open it up the first time, and you're overwhelmed because you've never used it before. You've never experienced it before. But as you use it, you get familiar with it pretty quickly. And the more familiar with it, you pick up speed with it. It's the same thing with researching.
Yep.
Once you start to figure out what to look for, you get a lot quicker and you become more effective with the information that you find. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. We have 4 minutes until the bell, and let's see what we can get going on in the market today. So again, the futures are still flat right now. We're waiting on Jerome Powell to come out and, I don't know, pump the market up. I know one thing: if President Trump was still in office, we'd get a tweet about something. I mean, we'd
no doubt.
The market already be in one way or another 500 points, whether green or red. I don't know, but we would have some movement. But let's see what Powell has to say, and after that, we'll see how the market takes it. So we appreciate you guys tuning in today. Thank you for all the great questions. I'm sorry that we couldn't, answer much more. And that's why you should tune in tomorrow to ask the same question. So, thank you guys for tuning in again. Trade safe, and let's lock in some profits.